I like would go to these meetups and nothing really changed. Like there was no accountability, which is one thing that's really core to Cashflow Tribe. Not only did you have like this intense sense of community, but you also had accountability.
I was working for somebody else that was not me. Okay, this 9-to-5 rat race that I'm trapping, I don't like it. I know something is bigger there for me.
Cashflow Tribe has been some serious practitioner information that I was able to tap into. I knew I needed to take it to a higher level.
Cashflow Tribe was Canadian, and that's what really kind of moved me more towards them. This is exactly the kind of group and people that I want to be part of.
If somebody's losing in one of my deals, I don't want to do a deal. If I cannot have my partners to win on the deal as well, I don't want the deal.
My name is Douglas.
My name is Tish.
My name is Alex, and I am.
And I am.
And I'm Cashflow Tribe.
Cashflow Tribe.
Cashflow Tribe.
Huh.
What's up, everybody? Let me know you can hear me in the chat. I hope you're doing super well on this Wednesday evening, afternoon. Okay, we got Tanya in the building. Steve, what's up, Gloria? I am hungry to have a shout out to my lady Thia. Okay, that's awesome. What's up, everybody? Jason and Jan, both from Whitby, Ontario. Where are y'all coming in from? Where are y'all tuning in from? Because we about to get to business. Listen, I've been talking to the people, and with popular demand, with absolute demand, it is my pleasure to bring back the lovely, the one and only Miss Velinor, aka Velinor Properties, the one and only Thia. And so she's going to be coming on. I'm going to bring her on very shortly because we got some business to get down to. And so here's the reality. Many of y'all been talking about looking to do deals. You may be short on the funds. You may be looking to figure out, how do I get my first rental, or how do I get my first flip, or how do I even be able to get into the market when these prices are so expensive? You don't want to get on the bidding wars. You don't want to be overpaying for property. You don't want to be able to be in a position where if anything happens in the market, you are exposed like a person swimming naked when the tide goes out. And so I'm bringing in Thia because she's going to really break down and give you the details, the 101 on how she is able to consistently bring in revenue, because as you might know, she's bringing in well over 5 figures every single month because she's figured out the system, she's implemented it, and now she's growing it. And so as y'all are tuning in, I see Faisal, what's up? Let's see Tom Falkins, what's going on, man? Dwayne, Mike Hill, Mario. All right, is it Basim or Basim? What's up, man? Jeffrey, good to see you made it. All right. Okay, so I ain't going to waste no time, man. We just about to get into the lines on this presentation. All right, let's get it going. So just so for y'all know, this is about how you can do deals even when this market is super hot. Guys, I am doing deals while this market is super hot. I literally just got off a call and I'm working a deal right now in my market where I'm looking to close a property over the next couple months as a house hack. I'm looking to get a primary residence on my house hack so that I can get into that market and do other things. Listen, I'm about to show you how y'all can do it as well. Let's get right into it. For those who don't know you, don't know you. For those who don't know me, my name is Daniel Blagrove. I am the 7th member of Cashflow Tribe. In case you don't know, I actually joined a community called Cashflow Tribe, and we have over 3,000 members on our platform. That is phenomenal. It's absolutely amazing. As a matter of fact, I actually want to know who here is from Cashflow Tribe. Are you brand new? Do you know Cashflow Tribe at all? Are you familiar? I want to know if you're new to Cashflow Tribe or not, just so I can understand where everybody's coming from. I'm also the host of The Pitch. I'm a council mastermind member where we grow and really do deals, do business, partnerships, and grow from there. And I've been doing this since 2019. Did my first deal, which was free, doing deals just like what we're about to learn tonight so y'all can understand the game. But this is who we're talking about tonight. This is who we about to get served the real business, if you understand what I'm saying. She is a single mother, and in the midst of difficulties and hardships, coming from a dark place, she managed to come out of her circumstances. And I'm talking real circumstances, guys. I'm not talking like she was bullied in grade 6 and never overcame it. I'm talking about she had some real struggles, and she came out triumphant. She built a 6-figure business in just 8 months, completed over 13 wholesale deals, 13. I don't know why I did this and said 13. Whatever. She did over 13 wholesale deals, and also is helping others grow their real investment journey by successfully helping someone get into that progress just 2 weeks in from her training. And so before I go any further, I'm gonna bring Thia on. Thia, are you on the call?
Perfect. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Thia. You are looking absolutely amazing. How are you doing today?
Thank you. I'm doing well. How are you?
Hey man, I'm happy as can be. The sun is shining. We're talking real estate, and I think we're about to impact some people tonight. So I'm definitely excited for it. So really looking forward to having you. And everybody, welcome Thia in the comments. Put some fire emojis. Put something in the chat just so that she can feel felt, because she's about to lay it down tonight. I'm really excited for y'all. And as always, I don't come empty-handed. As a thank you, I'm going to be giving you guys a video training from one of our co-founders of Cashflow Tribe, Matt McKeever, how you can start generating real revenue for your real estate buys just by starting out with $5,000 at a minimum. How do you make $5,000 right out the gate and doing deals? We have a video training. It's an hour long. We're going to be sending it to you guys as a thank you. So just got to stay to the end. Hang out with us. We'll get you that game so you stay equipped. Here's today's goals, y'all. Very, very simple. Thia is going to be showing us how deep diving into doing deals through this app you see right here. Doing deals with Kijiji. Very simple. That's what we're talking about here, all right? So if you're wondering, hey, you got to drop 20 grand on flyers, you got to drop 50 grand on TV ads, you got to do this on radio. Nope, this ain't the one. Is it possible? I'm sure it is, but this ain't the call we'll be talking about. We're going to be talking with practitioners, people who are doing it actively. One of the things that many of y'all been telling me is you want people who are actively doing this to come on, and this is exactly why, by popular demand, Thia is coming back. All right. So as a result, y'all already know the deal. Put that phone on DND, turn off the YouTube. Come on, man. The Instagram is fun, but right now, let's stay insta focused on Thia and what she's going to be bringing to the table. Okay. For those who don't know, this is generally how we like to take our approach. All right. There's about 21% of you on this who took the poll who are not new to Cashflow Tribe. This is exactly what we're looking to do, okay? We are looking to help you get your first deal in a series of small hops, all right? In order for you to overcome that mountain, you got to take that first step. And by taking the first step, you're able to take the second step, and then the third step, and the fifth, and sixth, and seventh. And from there, you'll be able to build momentum, which will give you confidence so that you can move to the next step and go forward from there, right? And so let's really get into it. Thia, I'm going to give you the floor. Take it away. Let's really talk about this. Let's start with marketing.
Okay. Yeah. The free Kijiji ads, guys, it really doesn't cost anything. You simply, click the My Ads, post the ad, just letting people know what you do, because 9 out of 10 times, that's really what it's about. Letting people know that you're looking to buy their homes. So simply go on Kijiji, put an ad up there, let them know. And it's as simple as that. It's really not complex. You guys don't, psych yourself out about it. Just put together a pretty clean ad. I think at some point later on, we have a little copy of my little flyer that I typically will add to my marketing for Kijiji. And if you want to pay, you can simply do that. It's only a few bucks to keep your ad at the top. And that way, every time someone's kind of fishing through Kijiji, there your ad is right up at the top. But you can simply also do that for free and repost it a few times a day to kind of keep it at the top if you don't want to, spend the money on doing so. And
sorry, quick thing, Thia. So what essentially you're saying is there's two ways where we can do this. You can either spend your money and have it stay at the top, or you can spend your time in reposting to keep it there. It really just comes down to what are your resources, what is your time expense, and what makes the most sense for you. Is that right?
That's right. That's exactly it.
100%. Keep going.
And then we have the infamous yellow letters that essentially you will, maybe pick a neighborhood that you want to focus in on and just hand deliver them. That's what I did when I started. I literally went, I think it was out in Hamilton, and I just went door to door for a few hours for the entire weekend, dropping these letters in any property that I, would have deemed that needed some kind of repair or that looked distressed, really. So you're looking for the tall grass that hasn't been cut, maybe the door the swinging door frames kind of hanging off to the side, something that is kind of indicating to you that this person may not have the funds to, kind of get out of this situation. And those are the properties you want to keep an eye out for and target with your yellow letters that essentially are saying, hey, my name's Thia, I'm an investor in the area, and I'm looking to buy your property. Give me a call.
So what you're essentially saying is you don't have to go through Canada Post in order to send out these flyers. If it literally takes taking a sheet of paper and handwriting these letters and then going into the areas that you're interested in purchasing properties in, and you hand deliver those mailboxes, you can really cut down the cost. It really just comes down to time and energy. Can you deploy your time and energy to really go out and do that? Is that right?
Precisely. It is exactly that. So like Daniel said, you're either spending money or you're spending your time. And if you don't have the money, then you definitely should have the time to, work on making your real estate career exactly what you envision it to be. And then you have your flyer campaigns where you're putting money towards this and you're going to typically hire maybe Canada Post. I know there's some other companies that will also deliver, but I've used Canada Post. And those can cost a pretty little penny, depending on how much area you're looking to cover. But again, if you don't have the time, then you definitely have the money, or you have the money and you don't have time. And I love the flyer campaigns because it's less work for you in terms of having to walk around, knocking on these doors, scraping Kijiji for several hours a day. You can kind of, put your money where your mouth is, so to speak, get those flyers out there, and then wait for, your phone to ring. But while you're waiting, guys, definitely continue to scrape Kijiji. There's no point in wasting time and just like waiting for the phone to ring. Still scrape, but just know that you've put, the money and the time out there to kind of organize that, and you're going to reap the benefits of that, which is one of my faves. And then you have, sorry, did you want to say something, Daniel?
No, you go right ahead.
All right. And then you have Instagram, which is just free marketing, right? Like, let people know what you do. People won't, want to invest with you or maybe buy your deals if they've never seen you before. So it's important to kind of, put some content out there, let people know you're a wholesaler or looking for JV partners, like whatever it is that you're looking for, but definitely get on the Instagram, the Facebook, do some TikToks and let the people know.
Well, you know what's fascinating? Because Instagram, this is one of the first times that I've really seen a lot of people start to actually understand the power of social media in the sense of using it for business, right? And so, guys, let me know in the chat, how many of you are on Instagram? How many of you actually use the platform, whether it be for personal or for business use? Because what's very interesting is when you come onto the platform from the perspective of looking to put yourself out there, the reality is people are going to see what you're doing. Now, is everybody going to want to flock to you and want to give you their house and stuff like that? No. But you never know who's actually watching. You just never know who's actually looking and interested, but they're not sure yet. And all it takes is one proof of concept for them to hit your DM and say, hey, let's get ready to rock, right? And so, Thea, just so people can understand as an example, what is your version of putting yourself out there on Instagram and utilizing that for your business?
Well, I've actually started a Me Mondays, which is the motivate, educate, encourage, and empower. I do that at 8:00 every Monday, just to kind of check in with the people, try to provide some value, maybe some tips, or kind of give them, catch them up to speed as to like what I've been doing for the week. And I think that's a good opportunity to connect with more people as well. So if someone who's new to following me might have just like kind of popped into that, now they're like, okay, this is what she's doing. Oh, you're doing some private lending. Oh, you're looking for wholesalers as I'm trying to grow this business. So it's a great opportunity to network and, again, let people know exactly what you're doing. Like even I was looking for a JV partner on a deal in Kirkland Lake. I put that on my social media and was talking to a ton of people about that, seeing who may be interested. So, don't sleep on the power of social media and just getting out there. Something as simple as putting a post and saying, hey, looking for a partner. And, you're going to get some feedback, and that's an opportunity. Even if it's not a JV partnership for that deal, it may eventually lead to another partnership down the road. So definitely get on your social media.
Social media is a tool, guys. And here's one thing I've actually noticed. The reality is if social media is free, that's because you are the product. And what I mean by that is that advertisers are using the platform so that you can be exposed to their service and be able to really influence you, should you be their type of buyer, to purchase their product. Now, if we flip it and say, hey, as a real estate investor, how can I use this as a tool so that I can get in front of other people who would be interested buyers in my service so that I can provide value to their life and circumstance? It really is the same thing. It's really, you're either playing one side or the other side of the game. And so it's one thing to recognize if you're on social media for just to consume content. I think there's a place for that in a healthy way. But at the same time, how do you optimize that in such a way? Can you imagine you're on Instagram because it makes you money? People are doing it. I promise you, Thea is one of them, and I think you can be as well. And so it's just something to keep in mind. So let's move on to speed is the name of the game. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, when you find a deal, we kind of touched on this the last time. When you find a deal, guys, I am telling you, because I have fallen victim to this myself. So I'm speaking from experience. I've seen a deal before, and I'm like, okay, you know what? First thing in the morning, I'll get to it. I call them up the next day, and they're like, oh, sorry, I already have an accepted offer. But if the offer falls through, I'll let you know, type of thing. So I'm not saying it because it hasn't happened to me. I'm telling you, it's happened.
It's the worst response ever. Oh, we'll let you know if it falls through. No, that means it's gone.
It actually hurts your heart a bit, honestly. You're just like, no. But I mean, it just kind of reiterates what we already know. Be quick. It doesn't take that long to go through numbers and crunch it and see if it's a deal. It might take you 5 minutes. Do it. Reach out to them. Let them know you're interested and get that offer in, guys. It is so key. Super key. And I know also the quickest way to find a realtor for comps, because I think the last time we were speaking, people were like, how do you get, realtors? Start making those connections today. That also helps, like it's about speed. So I'm sure there's 56 people in here right now. There might be a realtor or two. Connect, guys. Speak to them. Most realtors want to speak to wholesalers, right? I mean, and let's create that partnership. So start there or Google the top realtor in whatever city you're looking for a deal in and start making those connections as well. But it's best to kind of be proactive instead of being reactive, in the sense that have this realtor in your back pocket already on your team, so to speak. And as soon as you find a deal, boom, you can hit them up and get the comps right away. So that way, your entire process can flow in terms of getting the comps, getting the offer in, and getting the deal secured.
One thing I actually noticed is that when you have someone like that on your team, or even if you have that skill set yourself, it is actually so helpful, because literally as I'm looking at properties, I'm constantly having conversations with a realtor, because we have an agreement upon where I add value to his business in such a way where if there are people that are not fit for me to buy direct to them, and maybe they want a list, maybe they want market value, they're the first person I'm shipping those leads over to. And as a result, whenever I need comps, whenever I need some analysis, whenever I need some understanding of an area that I'm not familiar with, they're a phone call away, they're a text message away, and they will respond. Why? Because we have that partnership in such a way where we have an agreed upon interest, where I add value to his business in one way in exchange for him adding value to my situation in another. And so the quickest way to find realtor for comps is to have one on your team, one that you can actually reach out to. Like, I literally had a 45-minute phone call with my realtor because I was actually talking about a new area that I'm looking into, and I wanted to get some information on it. The fact that that realtor was able to spend 45 minutes with me of his time is for the simple fact of the relationship we've built. And so in order to get to that place, it may take time, but at the same time, you also got to continue to have conversations. There are many realtors out there. The ones that matter are the ones where you can find alignment and create that win-win situation. And so, and at the same time, you also can start to build and get more awareness of the market for your own knowledge so that you can move fast as well. Maybe there are times where you can't wait to call someone back in an hour in order to make an offer. Sometimes you're just going to need to go out there and make that offer, right? And so sometimes getting that confidence and knowing the market and taking time to actually understand where you're looking to buy, it's also a plus too. That way you're not totally dependent on the realtor given any specific scenario. Just wanted to add that nugget in, but off to you, Thea.
Yeah, that's completely right. And as you said, if you can't wait that hour or 2 hours for a realtor to get back to you, don't not put the offer in, guys. That's not the option. That's not what Daniel's saying. Like, put it in, and worst case scenario, if you were way off somehow, which I mean, you can still kind of do your own due diligence through the free resources of Redfin, Zoocasa, House Sigma, and really just put together like an educated offer based on what you see that's happening in the city in general. I kind of lost my train of thought there, but yeah, don't wait. Get that offer in and just get it done. Get it done. And the worst case scenario, you can come back to that seller and be like, hey, I know I offered X, Y, and Z, but, after digging deeper, my team and I have realized, and then try to have a conversation around that. They may not drop it by 40K or something, but, I like the word fair. Use that word fair and let them know what is fair is what you've seen in the area. And this offer kind of reflects what's fair and a win-win for both. So even if you've made a mistake on the offer or a conditional period time frame that you need an extension, don't be shy to reach out to the seller and request that extension.
And the reality is, it's better to talk than to not, because if you're silent to the seller, you don't exist. And that's the worst. The whole purpose of marketing is so that you are known, you are seen, you are out there, so that people say, hey, you are someone who can actually help me, so let me reach out to you. If you don't put yourself in that position, the chances of you getting deals literally goes to zero, because they can't do deals with people they don't know. And how can they know how can they trust you, and how can they like you if they don't know you? And the reality is, that's exactly why it is best to just say, hey, this is what I believe is fair. This is what I'm thinking, what I'm looking at. What do you say? Have that conversation. You could be dead wrong. You could be way off, but you are putting yourself in a position far better than not at all, and allowing fear or anxiety or analysis paralysis to take that opportunity away from you. Absolutely. And I think there's this funny thing that I think you kind of mentioned it, but the fact that you move with speed really, really helps you, because that is the biggest difference. Like, she already mentioned how she waited just a day, not even 2 days, just a night. She said, I'm going to call in the morning, and already that was too late, right? But you see on the other side how it works, right? You have a seller of a multi-unit, right? Talk to us about that one.
Yeah, I had a seller with a multi-unit. This actually just happened a few days ago. They said they had posted their ad. I'm not sure if it was on like Facebook or something. Then he pulled it down and put it up on Kijiji, and I was literally the first person to call him. There was 0 views on the ad. It was just a few minutes. Called him, boom, put in the offer, and he accepted it. And it's funny because he actually was asking, I think 320. I went in at 290, and he was like, okay. And I was like, okay, this is awesome. But the point is, I asked him, like, how long have you been trying to sell it and that kind of thing. And that's when he told me about Facebook, and I was the first person to call. So, and I was ready to put in the offer that day. And he was just like, so it made sense for him. He wants to sell it quickly. I called quickly, got the offer in. And now he was like, after that, he probably has another 10 offers that have come in, but now I have the deal under contract. So it just re-solidifies the importance of moving quickly when you see those ads, especially in this hot market, guys. It is important.
That's phenomenal. Like, I need y'all to understand this. She moved with so much speed that there wasn't any views yet. Like, and this is the separation point between Thia and the rest of the game. You have to understand that, like, I'm actually that type of investor. Like, whenever I'm looking or that type of seller, like, there is stuff that I'm selling. I'm always looking to get rid of stuff, because I don't like to hoard stuff. I don't like to keep stuff. That's just me. And so whenever I'm looking to do some garage sales type of stuff, like, I'm selling a bunch of stuff on Kijiji, Facebook Marketplace, and literally because some people are just the first, and I'll get other offers. I'm like, no, it's okay, you got it. Or all the time, first come, first serve. The person who comes to my doorstep, it's yours. It's all yours. And so there are people with real estate in that same way. You got to understand, not everybody is going to value things the way you value them. So even though you may value the highest price in certain things, other people may value time, and other people may value the customer experience, if you will. Other people value the way that you approach them and the way that you handle their needs. It really comes down to, do you know the seller? Do you know what their needs are, and how do you meet them? For that seller of this multi-unit, it was speed. Hey, I'm looking to sell. Thea called right away. Can you imagine the anxiety, the relief that he had because someone was immediately interested? Of course, that immediately brings his guard down, and he wants to build rapport and build connection, because it's like, I have something that you want, and you have something that I need. Let's make it work. And it's just as simple as that. Sometimes we overcomplicate things, but it's really not that complicated. It's just about doing the work and seeing the results come through over a period of time, right? And so I think that's an amazing. So let's really talk about flyers or ads of examples. You have an example of a Kijiji ad. Let me just move my icon over here so y'all can see it, because a lot of y'all wanted to see what exactly is an example of something you would put up on Kijiji. Thea, talk to about this design. Talk to us about this.
I like this flyer that I had someone kind of put together for me, because it really is just self-explanatory when you look at it. Money for house, and then the few points there that are letting everyone know. First of all, where are we looking? Sudbury. and we're buying in any condition. We'll do all the repairs. So everything that they need to know to make them feel comfortable and not, thinking that they have to bring their property up to the best value as if, they were going to list it on MLS. Letting them know that it's a flexible closing date, which a lot of sellers appreciate, especially ones that are like just wanting to retire or they're just totally over it. They just want a quick close or they want an extended close, whatever it is. But this is just kind of an example of something that I have posted and have gotten quite a few phone calls. And if not even from sellers, you're getting people who want to be added to your buyer's list. So, I mean, no matter what, you're winning. Your buyer's list is growing, or you're getting a sale or a lead actually from this thing that you can market. So the power of just, putting something together, and it doesn't have to be as, fancy as this. It can be anything, just straightforward, a picture of a house with money. You can find little free things on Google if you search them up, and then just kind of outline what you see here, that we buy in any condition, we'll do all the repairs, like hit those big items, whether they're going through a divorce and that kind of thing, because we know that can be really stressful for a lot of people, obviously, and it's just something that they want done because they don't want to deal with their spouse any longer. So, yeah.
Absolutely. And you know what? Like, you may look at this image here and say, oh my gosh, wow, look at it. It's got Velinor Properties in the corner. It's got the website at the bottom. I can never do something like that. Guys, you don't need that. Not to start, not to get that first deal so that you can get going. You know what you need to do? You need to put something out there. Or at the very least, you need to call the numbers that are on those listings. You got to get on the phone or get your phone ringing. One of the two, and that's exactly what you need to do on Kijiji. When I first started out, I was seeing, and you know what? I got to give credit to Thia, because you know what 90%, not even 90, probably 99% of all the Kijiji ads are? We buy houses, we buy houses, we buy houses, we buy houses. That's all. They're all the same. And this here, this is different. You see, this doesn't just have, it just says in block letters, we buy houses, phone number. It says, no, get cash for your house. It clearly in Sudbury, it clearly laid out the bullet points. You can call us, get an offer, get paid. That's simple. Here's a phone number. You want more information? Here's a website. You want to know who we are? Velinor Properties. Literally just clearly communicates everything that the seller needs to know if they're very serious about looking to sell their property, right? And so as a result, these are the type of things you want to put in. When I did my very, 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 very first ad, I'll tell you what I did. I did the we buy houses because I didn't know any better. But you know what I also did to set myself apart from everyone else? I actually put my face on the ad. I actually showed people we buy houses and this is the person buying the house. You know why? Because even though I didn't have a website, even though I didn't have a business name, I had a face that showed credibility. I was willing to put myself out to say, hey, I'm for real. I actually buy houses and you can actually know who I am because I'm putting myself out there. Now, not many people are willing to do that. But in order for me to get that first deal, I was willing to do that. And that's exactly why someone was able to call my ad who didn't have an ad up so I can sell their house, and how I've done several deals similarly when I first started out. So there's no one way to do it. Thia's here is a great way, but what everybody needs to do is not go out and copy this. Oh, let me just do the exact same thing. ABC Properties, get cash for your house in Ottawa. We buy out. Don't guys. You don't want to copy people. You want to be you. Because the reality is, when the seller actually calls that number and connects with you, they're gonna know if you're BSing them or if they're coming off authentic. And so the reality is, this is exactly why you want to make sure you just do the work of putting yourself out there. And once again, just like Thia mentioned, there's one or two ways you can do this. You can either post it regularly, either twice a day or however frequent you want to keep it up top of that listing, or you could put a few dollars for it to be spent on a week-to-week basis or a month-to-month basis in order for it to stay up to top. It really comes down to your resources and your resourcefulness, right? And so I just really wanted to double down on that. Is there anything else you wanted to add about this topic here?
Yeah, I was just going to say, for anyone who doesn't want to do the standard, as Danny was saying, the we buy houses, you can even go on to like Fiverr.com or something, and it's really cheap. It might be like $5 or $10 to get them to create something for you. So we're not talking a ton of money, guys, but as he said, like, be resourceful, take it serious, think about, different ways that you can get marketing done and things done for next to nothing. But it really doesn't cost a lot of money to get someone to put a flyer together for you.
100%. All right, now let's get to talking with the seller. Break it down for us, Thia.
You want to be pleasant, of course, and personable. You want, and don't answer, or if you're calling them, to be like, yo, seller, obviously, right? you want to talk to them. So if I'm going to call an ad that I see, first thing I'm saying is, oh, hi there, my name's Thia. I seen that you had an ad up on Kijiji for, if it was a triplex, is that still available? Awesome. Okay, do you have a few minutes? I just wanted to gather some information from you so I can get the complete picture, discuss it with my team, and then hopefully if it works for our business model, I'd like to put an offer with you today. So that's kind of how the conversation is going. So it sounds confident. It sounds like I've done this a few times. And I think that is really key. And you want to listen to them more than anything, because a lot of them just like to talk, whether they're old and they don't have a lot of people to talk to, or they just want to rant and rave about their property or whatever's happening in their life. Definitely listen. They might be dropping some nuggets that might be good for, your bargaining chip or some leverage later on. And also not even just that, you want to listen to see how you can better help them and make sure, you're really creating this win-win that they're out here looking for. And while you're listening, take notes. Take notes, because you're not going to remember it all. I promise. Like in the beginning, I was just like, yada, yada, letting them talk. And then I was like, hang on, they said something about, oh, shoot. And you don't want to ask, like, what did you say 4 minutes ago? So that could be kind of awkward. So take notes, listen. The best advice to that is have questions ready, especially if you're just starting. Like for me, I just go right off the top because I know what I need to capture. I don't have, it doesn't matter in what order, I'm going to ensure that I get it. But if we're just starting out, guys, take maybe 10, 15 minutes, have a list of questions that you want to ask. So you want to find out how much is the square footage, how many bedrooms, bathrooms, what has been done renovation wise, what needs to be done, how old is the roof. You want to have those. So as you're talking to them, there's a flow of conversation. That flow is going to help you feel more confident, because you're not like, oh, am I forgetting something? It's already there. You know what you need to ask. They're going to feel better speaking to you because it sounds like you know what you're doing and you've been doing this for a while. And fifth, that just goes right back down to the confidence. So be prepared, or you're prepared to fail, essentially. So we're new at this. Write down the questions and have a nice flow of conversation. Be pleasant, listen, and take notes, guys.
I think this is golden. And the reason why is because when she talks about particularly point 2, when she says to listen, I don't know how many of y'all, let me know in the chat if you were on this call for our conversation with Quentin Green. Let me know, just put something in the chat and let me know that you were familiar with it, because I actually want to remind y'all of the story that he talked about with one of the sellers that he really came in contact with. He was talking to someone on the phone, right? And there were many things that he was mentioning, but one of the first things that he talked about, which and Quentin's process is he actually likes to talk about the person before they talk about the real estate. Hey, how are you doing? What's going on in your world? Let's not talk about the real estate right now. What's up with you? Who are you? How are you doing? And in that process, he actually found out that, he was struggling to really get his groceries and a number of other things. And that thing stuck out to him. And so when he eventually moved to the real estate, got some information and booked an appointment to meet with the seller, the very first thing that Quentin did when he connected with the seller was to take that man on a grocery trip. Now, imagine the level of rapport that you will build when you do that for the seller. Think about it. The seller was probably saying it in passing because he's like, oh, you don't really care enough about that. Let's just talk about the real estate. And when you come through, the first thing he does is really help him get a bag of groceries. That is top-notch service right there. I'm telling you right now, when you have that level of listening, I'm telling you, people will not care about what you know until they know that you care. That is the point. When they know that you care, they will listen, they will work with you, and they will recognize your value and try to create that win-win. Imagine if your goal was to get the seller on your side before you even talk about real estate. Imagine how those conversations would be, right? A lot of times you come into this thinking, okay, it's me versus the seller. What am I going to do to win him over? No, the question is, hey, what's going on with the seller, and how do I get alongside him? See, too many times we approach real estate as if we, the investors, are on one side of the table and the sellers on the other side of the table, and then we're just going back and forth. What we need to do is to see how can we get on the same side and look at his situation and work together to solve it. Because you solving that situation is a win for you and a win for the seller. See that mind change right there? That is a massive difference with how successful real estate investors like Thia get deals done. Anything you want to touch on before we move on from here, Thia? Keep those questions coming, everybody.
I think you covered it, Daniel. It's perfect.
Guys, these are golden nuggets. I hope you're taking notes. We will send these presentations out. Keep those questions in the chat. We will address every single one of them before we go. And so let's talk about making the offer now. So one thing is really important is, like we mentioned before, you got to understand comparables. You got to understand what the house is worth, because let's say you're a wholesaler, right? Your business is only valuable to the amount that you can actually assign to a buyer, right? If you can't assign the deal to a buyer, then you're not getting anywhere. You got to cut the deal. You don't make any rev, and nothing really goes on. And so when it comes to buying as a rental property or buying as a flipping property, you're going to look at it from a certain perspective. Either way, comparables are absolutely important. You can't just throw out a number and think it's a deal just because it came out of your head, right? And I'm sure many of us on here are aware of that, but in case you're brand new, something that's really important is to understand, in comparison to other houses that are just like this one within a very close distance and a very close amount of time, what is this house worth? And you work your way back there, right? Let's move to point number 2, clauses. The only reason why you have clauses is to protect your interest in the property. See, when we're looking to build rapport with sellers, our goal is to get alongside them so that we can know all the information we need to know in order to make sure that this deal goes as expected. But when there is certain information withheld and there are certain things that we don't know, you don't want to find that out as a surprise when it is too late. So these clauses are reasons to keep and protect your interest. Shout out to Mark Smith in the chat. What's up, Mark? Good to see you, man. And so one thing I want you to recognize is there are clauses that will protect you. You don't have to make blind offers with no clauses. Anybody who says they make a cash offer doesn't mean that you got to make one without a financing offer if you don't have financing lined up. If you need to inspect it, you don't have to have an inspection-free clause in your offer. Do what you need to do in such a way where your interest is protected and you can get out of the deal. That's really one of the biggest reasons for clauses, is to protect your interest. Now, point 3, how do you present your offer? I really would love for Thia to really dive into this. How do you present your offer, and what is your process about that?
I simply just kind of put the offer together, and I know some people talk to the sellers first, or they might have a conversation on the phone about what they're going to put in the offer. I typically don't do that. I just I have the info. I know what price point I want to hit, whether it's based on, what's happening in the market. It's usually a little of both. What's happening in the market and how much cash flow I want to see out of this deal. And that's typically how I arrive at my offer amount. I put it together with my typical clauses. Now that I'm doing it under Velinor Properties, I no longer use the mortgage clause, because I just think that would look awkward for a business to be dependent upon a mortgage. But if you guys are just starting out and doing it under yourself, absolutely use that mortgage clause. That was like one of my keys. It was mortgage, inspection, and a signee clause, and the ability to view the property at least 2 or 3 times prior to close. And I'm simply docu-signing that, which I think adds another little layer of some professionalism on our part. And I'm sending that out to the seller. And what I like about it is you can see when they've opened it. Like before, when I wasn't using DocuSign, you just kind of send it through email. You're like, did they get it? I hope they got it. Did they look at it? I don't know. At least here we're getting a little prompt, like they viewed it. So I'm like, okay, cool. They looked at it. We're getting near the expiry or the irrevocable or whatnot. And it just, I don't know. I love DocuSign. I live by it. So if you guys don't have it, at some point, definitely get you some DocuSign. And yeah, I go ahead and submit that offer. And then the best part is when it comes back and it says completed. It's the best because they've signed off and you got yourself a deal. That is the best. Like completed, you're like, yay. So yeah, I love DocuSign, guys.
Absolutely. And so, and one of the things I want you to know, because I can imagine some of you are thinking it right now, listen, when it comes to making offers, you can write it out and then you can send it after you've already had the conversation and you said you got some information that you needed, and you can simply say, okay, thank you so much, Mr. Seller. I'm gonna run some numbers on my end to see what makes the most sense. I'll send you an offer and we can kind of go from there and see if you have any additional questions. Other people, they call back and they look to be on the phone with them and they look to go through the contract and try to close them while they're on the phone. Some people do it in person. It really doesn't matter. We know what does matter. You doing it based on your skill set. If you are a person who is better on the phone rather than just connecting with them in person, or maybe you're better in person rather than connect on the phone, or maybe you don't even need that. You just shoot it online, send it through DocuSign and get it signed. there is no wrong way. What matters is you just pick a way in order to get it done, because not doing it is your best way to guarantee you will get zero results. And that is the biggest thing, right? And so she mentioned that she does do it in written. I agree with that. The reason is because, especially in a hot market, you want to show the seller that you're serious. Imagine going through the process of marketing, spending that time on Kijiji, putting those ads up, connecting with people, talking to sellers, and then you connect with the right one, you build rapport, you're getting connection, and then you don't make an offer. Come on, guys. That ain't how it's done. We got to go the whole way. And in order to do that, we got to fill out the contract. We got to send it, because after building all of that, the seller will know you're that much more serious. Imagine in a hot market where people are getting over asking, people are overbidding, people are going to want to see some real written paperwork. And so that's the best way to do it. DocuSign, once again, is just another software. There are all kinds of softwares. Just use a software. That's just the biggest thing. Just use one, right? I implore you, please just use one. All right. And the reality is, if you get no, you made more progress than someone who didn't do anything. Because the reality is, now you've gone the whole way. You just gotta do it again and do it again. It's just repetition. Do it over and over and over again. And the more you do it, is the more chances you'll get at that. And so one thing that's really always stuck with me early in my investing career was simply this: if I knew that all I had to do was make 100 offers, and I knew out of one of those 100 offers I'd get an accepted offer, the only question then is, how fast can I get 100 offers out? That's it. If I know that it just takes 100, can I get it done in 1 week? Can I make 100 offers in 2 weeks, in a month, in 6 years? It really just depends on you and your level of ambition and action taking in order for you to get that deal done, right? And so I think that was really great. And so let's go through a couple case studies. So talk to us about this first one, this fourplex here, Thia.
Oh, that was the fourplex that I had done in Sarnia.
Yes.
There. Yes.
That's right. We did go through this one. This one was a fourplex in Sarnia. This one was listed with for a long time. A lot of people gave up on it, but not Thia. She says it's there. I'm gonna find out what's up with it. And it turned out to be a deal, right? She got a deal signed and accepted, and really just comes out to taking action. I think the next one is a one that we actually gonna walk through. Talk to us about this 9-unit here.
Yeah, so I came across this 9-unit building in North Bay. Again, I was, I think, the first person to see the ad. Immediately, I see 9-unit, like kid in a candy store. I was like, oh, I've never had a 9-unit building. Like, I want this thing. Immediately, like, never mind, like, sending a message on Kijiji, picked up the phone, spoke to the seller, got all the deets. And I was like, boom. Right away, because of the 1% rule I learned from Cashflow Tribe, I was able to quickly, analyze and figure out, like, I know for sure this is cash flowing and it's 9 units. This is something. So got the info, ran the numbers. It was perfect. Let her know I'm going to toss this offer in. And while we were kind of going back and forth, she was like, wow, like, I'm starting to get a lot of calls now. It was like, okay, well, we kind of connected first. I'm going to get this into you right away. But because I knew that there was a lot of traction being kind of picked up with this deal, I typically, guys, I will never, like, I very, very rarely, I won't say never, very rarely will give what the seller is asking, because I feel like you're just cutting your legs off. Like, why not start lower? And if they're up for it, then cool. You've just really created even more of a spread for yourself. If not, now we can have a negotiation to come up a bit. So I might as well. That's just my rule of thumb. I'm always going under. So she wanted 618 for this building, but I knew, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to beat all these other people that she's speaking about. I literally went over by, I think, about 2 or 3K at 621 is what I ended up paying. Of course, she accepted it right away, because everyone else is going to do what I typically do, right? Go lower, give her some room. But now you got an over asking. Boom. Got that deal, and within literally 2 days assigned it to one of my cash buyers there that I met in that transaction, and assigned it for 32K. But what is so interesting about that deal is not only was I like the first person to get there and had to do something I never do, which is overpay for the property, but obviously only do that if it makes sense, guys. Don't do it and it's no longer a deal, defeats the purpose. But there was a huge spread in there. My buyer now wanted the closing date pushed. So I had already reached out to the seller because my buyer just had to get a few things done. We needed more time on the conditional period first. So I was like, okay, let me ask her. Asked her, it was cool. She gave it to me, no problem. Now I was gonna have to go back in and ask her to move the closing date. So, you know, I know that there's a ton of people waiting for my deal to fall through. She doesn't care. If mine falls through, she has like 10 others, right? So I had to make it interesting for her. So what I did, knowing that I was going to sign this thing for 32K, I was like, you know what? Started at maybe $3,000. Are you open to extending the closing date to this date? If they give you an extra $3,000, I'll pay it cash. She was like, we went up to 5K. She's like, okay, let me talk to my husband. Spoke to the husband, came back. She's like, he wanted 10. 10 was my number. I was willing to give 10 because I knew I'd rather lose 10 and make obviously 22, right? So I was like, okay. She's like, well, you know, how's like 75? And I was like, 75 is perfect. So I literally email transferred her within the hour, the 75, she signed off on it. And now I'm going to get paid for the 32K assignment fee. So, I mean, it's really just being flexible. It's being creative and being able to see and recognize that you have a deal. So you're able to maybe pay a little more so you can kind of hedge your competition. And it's also being, as I said, creative in the sense that, you know, if I just asked her, can we move the closing date and not offered any cash, 100%, she wasn't going to do it. There was no incentive for her. What was the win? You know, so the win for her was she's going to make $7,500 on top of me already paying the extra $2. And then now, you know, I was able to create the win for my buyer as well. So you just have to be flexible and creative, guys.
And I think what's interesting to note is even though she paid a little more above asking, the thing was she knew her numbers. That was the biggest thing. You're not just overpaying just because it's a 9plex. What she knew the numbers and what made sense. You know how I know that is because when you're able to overpay by a little bit and still get an assignment fee of over 30,000, you know your numbers, right? And that is the biggest thing. And it comes down to speed, it comes down to service, it comes down to building rapport and working with the seller amidst any changing conditions. And this is exactly why Thia wins this game right now. And so I think that's a beautiful, beautiful example. And I just want to reiterate this, right? No matter if you're looking to purchase a rental property, you're looking to burn your way to financial freedom, you're looking to flip or wholesale or do any other active strategy to freedom, whether it's Airbnb, student rentals, multifamily, infill projects, development projects, whatever the case may be, new developments, pre-construction condos, it doesn't matter. The goal of every real estate investor is to get to financial freedom using real estate. And the number one skill you need is to get a deeply discounted property. Because if you can do that, that is the foundation of doing anything else. No matter what it is, if it's land or if it's a rundown house or if it's a turnkey property, if you have the skill of getting it deeply discounted, you are the winner because there are so many options. Imagine if the couldn't assign it. Well, could she raise the capital? She's done it before, and she can have a 9plex to herself. Could she burn and turn over the properties for the next year, get those rents up, and then get it refinanced? The cash out would be amazing. Especially when you get it deeply discounted, the options are enormous. Versus the other end, when you're buying it at market value, you don't have any equity. You can't really assign it because nobody's going to buy a property with negative equity, right? The opposite is true. When you get it deeply discounted, you have far more options and you are the one who can deal the cards any way that you choose as an investor. This is why I encourage you that if you are looking to buy real estate, even if you're not looking to be a wholesaler, you don't need to be a wholesaler. Just have the skill of getting discounted properties, even if it's just for yourself. You will be a winner long term. And so with that said, I need to know, y'all, who is taking action this week. This slide's kind of weird. It's supposed to be eye emojis, in case y'all didn't know. It's not a keyboard or anything like that. It's eye emojis. Let me know in the chat if y'all are ready to take action, because you already know the deal. We want to make sure that you're actually putting into action the things that we're talking about. I really, really want to thank you, Thia, because, man, this gold that you've been dropping is enormous. Like, the truth is, the things that Thia is talking about, this is literally what she's doing, guys. She is a practitioner. You are going to see her on Kijiji doing exactly what she just laid out for you guys. Honestly, I'm actually quite surprised that this call is free. Imagine what our mastermind experience is going to be like. And so
incredible. If I could just add to their mastermind, I swear to God, guys, Daniel did not tell me to say this, but it is just the God's honest truth. I went to that mastermind in October and I've never been the same since. And in a good way. It literally just really put that charger in my back and it put things into perspective. We think we have this crazy immense amount of time. We don't. Our time is truly compressed, and every day we wake up, we have one less day. So what are you going to do with your day? And just go to the mastermind, and then you hit me up and let me know, and we'll go from there. But I promise it's worth it.
Man, and honestly, I have to give credit to Thea because she simply just took the action. And this is what I'm imploring you guys. Imagine this. Thea literally could be doing whatever she wants, She doesn't have to be on this call, but out of the goodness of her heart, she's coming back and putting her hand down to help people like each and every one of you guys so that you can start doing as well. The reality is this. There is no real competition here. We are all going to the shore of the ocean and trying to scoop out the ocean with a spoon. That's how much abundance there is in the market. Canada is huge. The market is just opening up. There is so much opportunity and so much potential, especially when you consider a virtual model to real estate investing. If you understand that it is not limited to your ability to drive to one location or to physically talk to people, the sky is beyond the limit. It's just so much there. And so I really want to encourage y'all to really take action. I'm really gonna ask you guys, like, where in your journey are you guys? Let me just actually put out a poll and just so I can see where you guys are at. Where are you in your investing journey? And I want y'all to see the results as well. Go ahead and fill that out. I want to see, are you brand new? Are you an action taker, ready to do your first or fifth deal? Or are you an experienced investor? You've done more than 5 deals. This is nothing new to you, right? I know Thea belongs in this camp, right? I know Mark Smith is in this camp. There are many people like Quinton Green in this camp, but are you ready to take action and get to that level where you can be able to generate that level of income so that you have options? All right. Everybody has different goals. Everybody has different things that they're looking to do. But the bottom line is you just want to have options. You may not want the jet, but it would be nice if you had the ability to get the jet, wouldn't it? Or if it's not a jet you care for, swap it out for a Tesla. I want to, right? It would be nice to get that, right? You don't have to get it, but it would be nice to have the option to. And we really believe that real estate is that vehicle so that you can get that and make that happen, right? And so as a result, this is the homework, guys. I want you to take this action. I've done this literally for 3 weeks in a row now because I want you guys to actually do the work. It's just repetition. Put out the free or paid marketing using the channels, whether it's Kijiji, flyers, yellow letters. It could be door knocking. It could be door hangers. It could be internet advertising. It could be referrals. It could be word of mouth. It could be bird dogging. There's literally so many types of marketing you can do. Figure out if you got the time, figure it out if you got the money, and start to deploy. Deploy. Don't do it where you can't do it inconsistently. Make sure you do it at a frequency where you are consistent. Day in, day out, I'm going to show up, I'm going to show out, and I'm going to do what's required. And then start generating leads. When you start generating leads, start qualifying them. Are they a good fit for your business or are they not? And then start moving through them. And then once you find a good fit, go through and start making that call, start connecting with the seller, build rapport, understand their issue, get alongside them and figure out their problem, make that offer. And if it's accepted, boom. If it's not, do it again and again and again and again. I'm telling you right now, there's nothing new to this game. It's just those who do it and those who don't. And that's the reality here, right? I've already showed you guys these people, Jenilyn and Josh Alice, who have done amazing results, right? They've bought properties. They've gotten their checks. I know you can too, because this is exactly what it takes when it comes to investing in real estate. Thea has many checks, many deals where she can show you that this is real. It's just about real people doing real work. And so for those who don't know, for Cashflow Tribe, some of y'all already know, this is really comes down to giving you the resources and the tools so that you can get the accountability, so that you can have the mindset, and so that you can have the right approach to action taking that will generate real results. Ladies and gentlemen, Cashflow Tribe is a membership about helping you through weekly trainings that happen on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, live on Zoom, on video, and where we can see you, they can see you, and you can have that conversation on several different topics, whether it is purchasing your first deal, financing your first deal. It could be understanding how to build a joint venture partnership, how to raise capital, which we'll be talking on in the coming week, right? There's so many different things that you can really learn as an investor, and Cashflow Tribe wants to come alongside you so that you can accomplish that, right? And so the reality is you can sign up with a free membership, or if you're ready to take action, grab a monthly membership as low as $59 a month, or you can actually grab an annual membership, which will come with the 2-day weekend event that Thea was just talking about, the Mastermind Experience. What is the Mastermind Experience? The Mastermind Experience is 2 full days, literally 2 full days. We've spent about an hour now where we've been talking about this, but you are going to spend 2 full days with our co-founders, Ben, Matt, along with Mark Smith, the mindset investor. We're going to be talking with so many killers in the real estate game who are going to literally just give you the playbook, and practically show you exactly how to do it. And Thia is an example of what it takes when someone develops their mindset and actually commits and generates the result. As a matter of fact, Mark Smith, I know you're in the comments, are able to come on and really just add value to this conversation. I think there's something really here that I'd love you to add to.
Yeah, no, this is awesome, man. Love seeing this, man. Thea is absolutely crushing it. Very proud of her. And yeah, she enjoyed that mastermind because I was there. So
it was incredible.
It was a lot of fun. So yeah, you know what? Like if you got value in this is great, but really it comes down to the rooms you're in, folks. I'm a firm believer the smaller the room you're in is going to be inversely proportional to your success. You can come to all of these, with all due respect, folks, you can come to all the free events. How serious are you really taking it? Okay, so that should be your real test, right? I mean, if you want to become a doctor, you're just going to go on YouTube and check it out. But when you get into a smaller room and you invest, and that's what you are. If you're a real estate investor, you are investing your time. You have to invest a little bit of money to get into a smaller room. So we basically can take what we're doing right now. We can do a step-by-step process for you to take this proof of concept and use it anywhere. And that's exactly what Thea did. She leveled up. And in fact, when Thea came, it was not the price you see today with this premium. I mean, it was 2,500 bones.
Yeah.
So just think about that in perspective. And look what Thea's done. Now look at what Thea's return on investment has been on that $2,500. When I attended my first event, it was $5,000. You know my ROI is? Well, in this last 3 days, my wholesale fees are coming in at $148,000. And so you guys got to see, you got to get into the rooms. So this mastermind experience, we're going to be talking about mastering the BRRRR strategy. Just because we're doing well in wholesaling doesn't necessarily mean that's going to be something that you want to do. It's really going to come down to your capacity, your design, your skill set. But there's different avenues when it comes to real estate investing. The BRRRR strategy is a great strategy to get your foot in the door and really make a lot of money or potential very quickly with strategic renovations. My first BRRRR, I made $117,000, and it was beautiful because I own a property that the bank actually wrote me a check to keep. So I was actually in minus $17,000. So I owned that property minus $17,000. But again, I didn't learn it by myself. I had to get in that room. So I love you guys to join us. We got 2 days of this happening April 24th, 25th. It's not just going to be Matt and Ben speaking. We are going to be bringing in other specialists who maybe have just gotten into real estate investing, maybe just a few months ago. So I don't want you to think for a second, well, that's fine. It's Matt, it's Ben, it's Mark. These guys can do anything. No, we're bringing people that just started doing this just a few months ago so you can see for yourself. So I'd love to see you guys there.
Man, the reality is, guys, the return on investment on your personal development, listen, you can put a number on real estate, but on your mindset, this I can tell you right now, Thea and Mark's return on investment, this is what it is. You know what this is? That's infinity. Infinity. You know why? Because you can take Mark out of a physical brick real estate house, but you can't take the ability to grow wealth and do deals and build partnerships and raise capital out of Mark. That is in there. That foundation is set. That foundation in Thea is set. Therefore, no matter what obstacle comes their way, they say, I can take care of it. Why? Because I've spent the money, I've invested in myself, I've grown and developed into the person who is capable of doing it. Right? I want you to think of this, right? If you ever want to run in the Olympics, you got to think about what do Olympic runners actually do to prepare. And if you're not willing to do the work that's required as an Olympian to compete in the Olympics, then obviously there's no shot. But the purpose of the 2-day mastermind experience is simply this. They want you to become the person who is capable of accomplishing these goals that you've set out for yourself. That's the whole goal. And I can tell you that there are people who have accomplished this, and this is exactly what you want. So here's the deal, guys. We usually do this. We want to give those to the first people who take action. For those who are the first person who signs up, we're going to be giving the mastermind experience along with the annual membership for only $338. $338. That's going to be for the first person who takes action, and that's what we're looking for. And so really looking for you to take advantage, because I paid $5,000. I was a lot of money, but it was still worth it because the return on my investment still pays me to this day. And so with that said, if you're an annual member already, feel free to join into our mastermind experience. As an annual member, you can get in for just $250, and that way you can sign up, get a part of it, get leveled up, and really join. Really looking forward to seeing everybody's growth there. So I'm gonna go right into the Q&A so that we can take care of this. So before we head on out of here, Thea, I'm gonna break it down for you, and you can go ahead and shoot these answers real quick. Let's do a lightning round. That way we're not taking too much time for everybody. But Basim says, can you please explain more about the flyer campaign and how to use Canada Post?
Yeah. So you go on Canada Post. I think it's called maybe Precision Targeter or something.
That's right.
Yeah. And they have like a map of whatever city you're looking at. So I know, for me, Sudbury, I'm going in the map. Well, you can also put little filters in so you can kind of narrow down who you want to target. For me, I want to, of course, target homeowners, because I'm trying to buy their homes, of course. And you get to select on the map, and it'll actually highlight and tell you what the percentage of homeowners are in that area. So when you hover over it, it'll say like 90%. If it's an area where there's maybe a lot of businesses, or it's mainly a lot of just like rentals, or apartment buildings, it'll have a lower percentage. So it might be like 20%. So we don't want to click the 20% and have mail go to a ton of businesses, because that's not what we're after. We want to go to where the higher the percentage, the 90s, the 80%, select them on that map. Then once you click over to the next screen, it'll let you know or actually while you're clicking, it'll tell you how many flyers are actually going to be deployed. And then the next screen, it'll break down what the cost is going to be. You can then get Canada Post to do, make a flyer for you. Or if you have one, you can upload it yourself and then go to the next page, and it'll let you know what dates you can have that flyer deployed. And you get it out there.
That's it. I love it. All right. Sandy P says, so without seeing the property, can you put an offer?
Oh, yes, you can, Sandy. It's my favorite. Sandy, I don't want to see it with my eyes. I just want to get some pictures done. I want to hire some people to go take the pictures, and that's it. Like Corona, it's a twofold, right? Like, it sucks, but it also has now made business a lot easier, in a sense, where you're not driving around like a crazy person, going to all these different cities. And for me, it's about, return on time and saving that time. Do I want to drive all the way to Sudbury to look at a property, put an offer on to get home, and they're like, no, we're not accepting that offer? And it's like, I just wasted 8 hours of my life, and I don't even have a deal behind it, right? So you want to save your time. Just, look at the pictures that they have available, do your research, make an educated decision based on an offer amount, and get that offer out there.
Absolutely. I couldn't have said it better myself. The next question is from Erica. She says, Thea, did you have your website and company established before you made that first deal, or did that come soon after?
At the time, I did not have a website. I had one earlier on, but I kind of, just let it go because there wasn't much happening for me. So I didn't feel that I needed the website. It wasn't as important. So no, I didn't have the website. I did have Velinor Properties, though it wasn't incorporated, and I was still doing all of my marketing and contracts rather under my own name, just Thia Velinor. So don't let that be a determining factor as to why you're not taking action. You don't need to have a company established already. You don't need to have a business number. You don't need a website. You just need a computer, and the will to take the action that's necessary. And I'm telling you, any one of you guys on this call can get this done.
Yeah, absolutely. No, and I think it's just an encouragement to show you that, like, the reality is like it's not a necessity. It would be nice, but what you want to do starting out is you want to do what's necessary. What is necessary? It's getting on Kijiji. It's getting out there, and it's actually talking to sellers and making offers. And once you start to gain some traction and you're able to take care of some things that would be nice to have, work on those things after hours. So if you are working late night and you're doing some of the things, that's the time where you can say, okay, let me work on my website. Let me do during times where it's not optimal to talk to sellers, or it's not optimal to do what we would call money tasks, things that directly generate revenue, right? And so I think that's definitely a great answer there. Caleb says, do you use a CRM for keeping track and keeping in touch with different leads or clients?
Right now I'm kind of just, I have a book, and I have my friend, one of my best friends. She kind of keeps me on track, because she's definitely way more organized than me. So for example, I did a flyer campaign in February, and I was just about to have my photographer go and take pictures, but then the seller got sick, ended up in the hospital. So we're keeping track of that. She has it in a spreadsheet, and we're just kind of retargeting every now and again, like, hey, you know, how's he doing? How are you? Are you out of the hospital? Were you still kind of thinking about selling your property? And that's kind of how we're keeping in touch. But I'm definitely looking for a better system so my friend can kind of have a break, because it's a lot. But that's what I've been doing.
You know what? I actually want to say that's actually a good thing, because many people would just come and assume, oh man, Thia's got this big corporation. She's got these employees. She's got this whole setup. She's got this premium software. It's working amazing. Oh, how am I ever going to do deals? You just see Thia is doing what matters to make it work.
Right.
That's the bottom line. Guys, I want to implore you. It's just about action taking. You can fix all the other stuff and polish it when it does, in times where it's more convenient. Focus on what's going to make you the money now. That's what you need to do. Do that first. There's a book that you should read. It's called Profit First. I don't remember the author, but the book is called Profit First. It really helps you understand how do you focus on the money rather than just taking care of everything else. And then whatever's left, I'll focus on the most important things last. No. You got to work it the other way around. Focus on that, and that's what's going to really help you go really faster. Aaron Neville says, what are the usual clauses that you use in your contracts?
Currently, I'm using mainly the inspection clause, ability to view the property 2 or 3 times prior to close, and the ability to assign the deal. And I used to use the mortgage clause, which if you don't have a company that you're, putting on the offers, then go ahead and throw that in there. And or use the due diligence as well, depending on what type of deal. If it was a VTB, I wouldn't put a mortgage. I wouldn't put inspection. I would simply just keep it clean with the due diligence, ability to view the property, and that's it. So. But that's typically what I'm using, guys. Those three clauses.
Love it. And so I'm gonna go to Zara. Zara says, "What if both contracts are signed, right? So you sign the contract, the seller signs the contract, but the buyer doesn't end up getting the right financing. Would the deal fall out even if the contracts are signed?"
Well, if both. So are we talking about the assignee? That's kind of what it sounds like.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know, Zara, if you're still on with us, if you want to maybe elaborate on your question, that would really help. That way, Thia can answer that question. But we'll come back to it. So I'm gonna go to Jan. Jan, I think she dropped off recently, but she said, Thia, do you have a money partner that you can go to with all your deals?
I'm working on that. I have a couple people, and that's what's kind of new, and that's what I love about starting with wholesaling, because you get connected with a ton of people, and now I'm kind of able to pivot. I'm doing some private lending. I'm now looking at getting some JV partners, because I have a Kirkland triplex deal, amazing cash flow. If anybody wants to hop on, let's get a call going. But I don't have a particular person, but that's kind of what I'm doing now. Because as I'm pivoting and still doing wholesaling, but I want to get doors, guys. I want some cash flow and that kind of thing. So those are the conversations that I'm now having with people. So 100%. I don't have anyone in my back pocket, but
I love it, man. Yeah. We're seeing this whole process before our eyes, what we call active to passive. We're doing the active generating of revenue and generating revenue so we can take care of ourselves, get stabilized, and over time we're getting those rentals so that we can park that active money in the passive real estate. Because, ladies and gentlemen, that's where the real money is, over there. Like the checks that we get today is good for today, but you want that forever money, you got to pick up those properties that Thia's picking up. So definitely awesome stuff right there. We'll go through a couple more questions. Shadeen says, prior to making the offer, what will you need to request from the seller to complete the form?
Before making, for me, I want to get all the pertinent information. I want to know what kind of condition the property's in. But if we're talking about in order to get the contract sent over to them, really you just need to know the legal name of the owners or whoever is on title. and their personal email address. Essentially, everything else, if you watch Ben Humble's very, very detailed contract writing course, you'll have everything else that you need. And in the event that you need legal descriptions and that kind of thing, you should have a realtor that you can reach out to, even if he's not in that particular city. Anybody can pull a geo warehouse that'll get you that information, guys. Ton of helpful realtors within the tribe anyway. So it's very simple. You don't have to overcomplicate it.
Love that. Love that. And so we'll take one more question. This is from Steve. Thia, do you always get the property inspected?
Personally, no. I've never had it inspected before. I'm leaving that. Not that I would never. I'm open to it, but it would just have to make sense for me. But if I'm just going to tie it up and, my initial thing is that I'm just going to wholesale it, I'm going to ensure that, my end buyer has the time frame to kind of get that stuff done. They have, based on the clauses that I put in, the 2-3 times to get all their due diligence done. But essentially, that's going to be up to the end buyer to complete, along with appraisals if that's what they'd like.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Great response. And so we'll look to see, maybe we'll take one more question before we go. But one thing I actually want to ask you guys, because for those who are still on the call, man, first of all, really appreciate you guys. We're going to end this shortly because we want to make sure we respect this time. But I actually want to ask you guys, like, realistically speaking, let me know in the comments, guys. How many people actually want to go to the 2-day mastermind experience, but maybe that annual membership of $588 is just a lot of money? Let me know in the chat. Like, I want to know, because since you guys are still here, I want to do something real nice for you guys. Just because you guys stuck it out this long, went through the Q&A, went through the pitch, let's be honest, and you're able to hang out with us. Let me know how many of y'all want to go to the 2-day, but maybe that annual membership is just like, it's getting in the way. Let me know in the chat. I want to see how many actually are interested, because I can actually do some stuff for y'all. So, okay, I see 2 people so far. So maybe not a lot. Okay. All right. Okay. So listen, because because you guys are still on the call, I'm going to be able to give you guys a discount and still give you the 2-ticket mastermind experience. What I need you guys to do, this is what I need you guys to do. I need you guys to email me. All right. My email is my comment. So my comment, like my name in the comments, that's my email. I need you to copy that and put that into an email. Send me an email. I will give you a discount link to get you a membership while still getting you access to the 2-day membership. Send me an email, guys. It's only through email. I can't give the offer here. But I will be able to shoot you guys an offer through email that will give you a discount. Trust me, guys. It'll be like you're paying $30 or $35 a month on your. It'll be like, all right. I know no guarantees here. Okay.
I think I need to come to this.
Hey guys, I want to help you all out, because I understand the reality of wanting to get into it, but maybe you just need a hand up, not a hand out. And so looking to really support you guys and really get you to a position where you can start to go. Paul, reach out to me, man. I know I understand that it's real tough, but I'll see what I can do, man. Just email me. Let's get a conversation going and let's make it happen. But with that said, one last question that I have from Mandy. Mandy says, Thia, what are you looking to do over the next 5 years? It's a good question. Let's end with that.
Oh, incredible. Awesome question. So the next 5 years, I would like to still have my wholesale business running, but completely running on its own. I have the systems, I have the people in place to, continue to build this successful Velinor Properties. But within 5 years, I'm definitely looking to take a more passive approach to real estate. I definitely want to focus on, private lending and mentoring, because I feel like that's always been my passion. Like, it's just like motivating people, whether it's like people working out with me. I'm like, come on, we can do this. Like, that's just a part of me. So for me, doing that like full time that's everything. So it's mentorship, it's private lending, and ensuring that Velinor Properties continues to do what it's doing today, but just on a grander scale.
Man, that's beautiful. And you know what? I love to see the growth and development, because there's only 2 ways you can look at this. You can look and see what Thia says and say, oh, must be nice to be Thia, because she grew up with a silver spoon and she had it nice growing up, and it must be nice for her. The truth is, you can look at it that way, or you can look like, wow, if Thia can do it, that's an inspiration for me, because I can actually look up to someone and say, hey man, if that person could do it, and that's not a bad thing to say. If that person can do it, I can do it too. Because the truth is, there's no special people. It's just those who do the work and those who don't. That's just a reality. And so what I need to say to myself is what I encourage you guys to do is, okay, what is Thea doing that works for her that I need to start doing so it can work for me? Right? Instead of pointing the finger and saying, oh, only the rich get richer. Listen, you can get it too. And this is exactly why Cash Flow Tribe exists. So email me, guys. I want to get you set up so that you can get going and start accelerating in your growth. But until next time, Thea, thank you so much for blessing us with your virtual presence. And y'all will get the replay link in the email in the coming days. And until then, stay blessed, grace and peace, and talk soon.
Bye, guys.